Okay, so I know that it has been several months since I have made a video. Um, I will make a video explaining where I've been and what's been going on in our year at this new location. But I'll just go ahead and state the obvious. Yes, I have braces. That's one of the things, and I hate it. But after 2 years, I should be good. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you my fifth graders homeschool curriculum for the new year, the 2018-2019 homeschool year. And my name is Shayna, long A. I have two kids. They'll be in 8th grade and 5th grade this year. This is our 10th year of homeschooling. So what I'm going to do, because as I was unloading everything on the table for you to see just for one child, I was thinking, this is nuts. People, you guys may think, whoa, she's crazy, or whoa, she is awesome if she can accomplish all that. No. Okay. A lot of what you're going to see is just resources that we already have on hand that we may, go through if we feel like having a fun day or something, or, it's just stuff we already have. I did not buy it specifically for this year. It's just things we've, acquired throughout the 10 years. So I did not want to show that to you first because, it may overwhelm you. So first, I just wanted to show you just the base of our curriculum for my 5th grader. It fits in one hand. See? This is how thick it is. Well, the language, there's another one of these books the same size, but this is the base of my 5th grader's curriculum. Okay, so for math, she's doing teaching textbooks. For science, simply Charlotte Mason's learning about birds. For history, her and my 8th grader are doing Charlotte Mason Early Modern and Epistles. And that goes right there. And then for language arts, The Good and the Beautiful, level 4. And like I said, there's 2 of these books. And then for reading, like I always say, they just read. They read books all the time, the library, and everything like that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that that is so simple. Okay, so whenever I flip the camera around, it's going to look like a lot. But like I said, most of it, pretty much all of it, is just resources just to reference to. And then the language, the science, and the history. Of course, the history, there's reading books that you have to buy to read because that's how Charlotte Mason, living books. Okay, and then a lot of books I did not bring up here, like downstairs. We have a lot of historical fiction type books that are not on the Charlotte Mason book list for the early modern time period. And this covers 1550 to 1850. But we do have those down there just in case, we don't like a particular book that we're reading. We can go to the bookshelf and pick out one that's the same time frame and read it instead. So I did not bring those up here, but we do have a lot more. Okay, so I think I'll just flip you around. Okay, so you can see. I think that's it. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so like I said, for my 5th grader's math, she is doing teaching textbooks, and she is doing it on the disc, on the CD on the computer. My friend, Debbie, let me borrow this level. She finished up level 5 last year, so, and she started this already last year, so she'll be moving through it and finishing that. So that is her math. Okay, her language arts. Okay, like I said, is The Good and the Beautiful. Okay, and there she's in level 4. There's part 1 course book and part 2 course book. Okay, so this the language arts The Good and the Beautiful, it covers literature, grammar and usage, punctuation, art, geography, spelling, vocabulary, and writing. Okay, now I have the level 5 from last year. My oldest did that last year because it was our first year doing The Good and the Beautiful. And so I wanted to ease her into it. So I had the level 5, and my youngest, she placed the level 5 for this year. But I wanted to put her in level 4 because I contacted The Good and the Beautiful, contacted them through email. And the level 4 comes with this book, The Creative Companion. And it's just a really beautiful book, and the paper is really nice. And this book covers writing, art, and geography. So level 4 is the only one that has this book. And so even though my youngest, my 5th grader, even though she placed in level 5, I contacted them to ask them, what the difference is between level 4 and level 5. And when it comes to this book and such, like why is this book only in level 4? And they had replied and said that level 4 focuses really heavy on writing more than the other levels. And my youngest is already a creative writer. I mean, you can tell her to go write a creative story and she will do it. She is a creative writer, but not so much on the research part of it. And I know this is more creative writing, but I just wanted her to go ahead and have that focus. So that's why I went ahead and put her in the level 4. Okay, so for the level 4, Good and Beautiful, you'll have the 2 course books. You will have the Creative Companion, and then they also need a binder. This is a writer's notebook is what they need, and this one's actually my oldest. She had to have this last year, and she's going to continue in it this year, but I don't have one yet for my 5th grader, so she'll have a notebook as well. And then the reason The Good and the Beautiful, the reason there are 2 books instead of 1 for the course book is because, let me find them. Okay, The Good and the Beautiful, they incorporate a lot of literature into the program. Well, in level 4, there are only 2 readers, these small readers. So the reason that these are so much thicker is because they have a lot of the full stories, the full stories in here printed already, so that's why they're thicker. So she will also be reading 20 and 10 and The Big Wave. So this is her whole set. And then she also needed the geography and grammar flashcards. These are used for levels 4 through 7, and we had these from last year, and this is just some of them. Okay, so that is her language. Now language, The Good and Beautiful also covers art. So for art, she had to have some artist tape, the kneaded erasers, some chalk pastels, and then other art supplies like watercolors, acrylic paints, crayons, colored pencils, markers, things like that. So we have all that. And then also I got a sketchbook. Well, it's a mixed media. It's good for acrylics, watercolors, pen, and pencil. It's just a really nice heavy-duty art book. And then she also needed some Krylon workable fixative spray for the art as well. So that includes, this section here is the language arts, okay? All right, moving on. She is doing the Simply Charlotte Mason Learning About Birds, and this is a living science handbook, and you only use 2 books. You use the Burgess Bird Book for Children by Thornton Burgess and Blackie the Crow by Thornton Burgess. So I have these books here. Okay, now for this book, we actually started reading this book. I actually just got this one in the mail, but I had it on my phone as a PDF download for years. And we actually started reading it a couple years ago. And on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist that is in chronological order with the birds mentioned in this book. And so there are videos showing each bird mentioned, and you can hear them chirp and all that, and things like that. So if you're interested in doing this book and watching a playlist already put together, I think I've got like 200 videos or more, I have that available. And then it also said to buy a Dover coloring book, the 50 Favorite Birds coloring book. And Dover usually has really good detailed bird drawings. This one's okay. You know, it's pretty good, but I'm so used to like their castle book looking just, you know, insanely like real good and real. This one was just, I don't know. But anyway, it also said to buy that, so we did. And it also said to get a field guide. So we already have this one. This was my grandma's actually, and it gets a lot of use. And they also said to, it didn't say you had to have this, but it said that they recommend it and it would be helpful. The Handbook of Nature Study, and we've had this for several years. This book on its own is a science course. It's just a great, great book. I can't remember if I did a walkthrough on this or not. You'd have to check. But anyway, this book is just marvelous on its own. All right, and then I can't remember if it said to get a nature notebook or not, but if it did, let me check real quick. Probably going to knock things over. Okay, no, it did not say that you had to get a nature notebook or nature journal or anything, but they do sell one. But I didn't really care for theirs. I liked The Good and the Beautifuls, so I bought the nature notebook from The Good and the Beautiful just for them to do when they want, if they want. It's just a really nice, you know, change up. Like each thing is kind of different. It's broken into seasons. Anyhow, I just really like this. I got one of these for each child. And then, just because we did not do this last year, this is a Becca grade 4, Developing Good Health. I wanted to do this last year, but we just didn't. So if we get around to it, and like if we get done with the science early, which we probably will because it's just 2 books, we will go ahead and do this health as well. Okay, I'm moving on over here to the history, and I will cover this right after this. Okay, so the Simply Charlotte Mason, this is, they have different, you know, history times, historical periods, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, Reformation, Middle Ages, Renaissance, and Reformation, which we did this last year, and then early modern, we're doing that now, and then modern times, we'll do that next year. Okay, so last year was our first time using Simply Charlotte Mason history, and we really, really liked it, so we are moving on to the next one. Okay, so this covers grades 1 through 12. This is the teacher book, and it just tells you each day what to do and what to read. It gives you a book list that you need. Okay, but anyhow, this covers history, geography, and Bible. So, last year we did not care for the way that they did their geography or their Bible, so we didn't do those last year. We just did the history. And this year, their geography is different. I debated on whether or not to get it, but it seems like people just aren't a fan of it. It seems like they buy it and then they don't use it, and I was already, you know, spending enough. So I was like, well, we'll just not do it starting off. So we kind of have our own geography thing we're going to do. And we're going to do our own Bible like we always do. Okay, so this is our history. And like I said earlier, both of my kids, my 5th grader and 8th grader, will be doing this. The only thing is they will have different book lists. Like these are the independent reading books that my 5th grader will be doing, and these are the independent reading books that my 8th grader will be doing. And these are the books that I will be reading out loud to all of them. Oh, and here's some more that my 8th grader will be doing. Okay, but the difference is that, you know, you do a lesson and then it tells you, well, that's not a good example. Let me find one. Okay, here's one. Okay, so it tells you here, what lesson it is and what you're going to be studying about, and the grades. So my 5th grader will do this section, and then my 8th grader will do this section. So that's how it covers grades 1 through 12. So that's our history. And then the read alouds that I will be reading to them that they recommend is The Stories of America, Volume 1. So I got this. Stories of the Nations, Volume 1. So I got that. I also got some narration note cards. They had them for, this one is for Stories of the Nation. They also had them for Stories of America, but this set was $10, and I didn't know if they'd be any good or not, so I went ahead and just got one set. But I think it's just supposed to help, prompt the child if they don't know what to talk about, just things like that. And then these are some of the books that my 5th grader has to read independently. The Landing of the Pilgrims, The Story of Napoleon, Bard of Avon, and there are some others that she'll have to read independently, but the other ones I'll be checking out from the library. So Along Came Galileo, Good Queen Bess, The Ocean of Truth, The Story of Sir Isaac Newton, The Sign of the Beaver, and A Young Patriot, The American Revolution as Experienced by One Boy. Those 5 I will be checking out from the library. Okay, so, but the rest are the ones I actually had to buy because my library doesn't have those. And then this is something else they recommend. We did not purchase this last year just because I think it was like $20 and I didn't really see a purpose in it. And even though I don't really, we can make it without it, I just wanted to, if I'm honest. I just wanted to buy it just to see what all the fuss was about. So the stuff they left behind, this is from the Early Modern Portfolio, and it's just really thick paper, and it has just, really nice glossy photographs of things that they will be learning about while studying this period of history. Okay? So, we will also continue, of course, to use, YouTube videos where we, supplemented the learning and stuff for history as well as for all the subjects. There are so many. I like the YouTube channel Free School. That's pretty neat. Okay, so that is our history. Okay, they also want you to get a timeline, and they have one, simplycharlottemason.com. They have one that they sell. They have a free one and then, a nicer one that they sell. I actually don't care for either one of those. So, we've actually been working on timelines for, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. So I put these together, a long time ago. So it's just, my own print here. But anyway, so this is just our timeline book, and then each year I buy the paper ones, the paper timeline figures, but this year I hate the paper ones because I don't cut them out. I have to print the whole page and then, cut around the only one I need. Then I have like a gazillion little ones that are all loose in a bag and have to go through each time. So I decided to bite the bullet and go ahead and buy this. This is History Through the Ages, and all those timeline figures are on a CD. So this will be so much great. Just pick and choose the one that I want and print that off. So that's great. So I recommend doing that. And in the long run, it is cheaper to buy the disc than to buy all of those. I think they have 4 or 5 paper packets separately. Okay, so that takes care of history and the timeline. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the Bible part. Okay, so for our Bible, of course, we have a Bible. And then, like I said in the beginning, these are just some references and resources. And you've probably seen these before. We used these a couple years ago. I recommend these books. They're really nice and helpful. So that was What the Bible is All About for Young Explorers, The Essential Bible Companion, Window on the World, This one, it's a 2-page spread of different countries, and it just talks about a little bit about the people and their faith, their culture, their religion, how to pray for them, interesting facts, things like that. And my friend recommended these to me, I don't know, a few years ago, so I got them and we enjoy them. Then I picked this up at a used bookstore, I guess, and it's something that, it's just a big book of virtues. So, responsibility, just character traits, different things like that. There's one on compassion. I don't know if we'll use it or not, but I just thought it might be something, if they do have a problem with, some kind of character, maybe we could open that up and, fix it or talk about it, things like that. We will still continue our scripture memory, and I think I may have did a video on how we do that. I don't remember. But anyway, that's something we don't have a problem not doing. We like that. And then this is kind of similar to the big book of virtues. This is parenting with scripture. You just, open it up to a topic that your child may be having trouble with. Like if they get discouraged a lot, you can see up there at the top, this would be the section on discouragement and death and criticism and things like that. But it uses scripture. And I know I showed these. We do. I know these are kind of kiddie, but some adults can't even answer them. These are Bible trivia game. It's just flashcards with questions, multiple choice questions, and answers like that. And then let's move on to this one next. So this is a game I picked up a few years ago. It's children's Bible trivia, and it's a board game. It has over 1,000 questions. It's good for the whole family, and it's the King James version, which we particularly liked, and I cannot open it with one hand. But anyhow, it's just a board game, and you have to answer questions. I don't know if they give multiple choice or not. It's been a couple months since we've played it, but we all play it, even my husband, And, okay, what am I missing? Oh, okay. So my plan for our Bible is, of course we'll start the day off with prayer and pledges. Okay, that's simple. And then we'll read the Bible. Now, in the past, when we have done it all together, we really, really enjoy it. So what we do is we'll open the Bible up to, I don't know if I'm going to pick a theme or a topic, or if we're just going to start somewhere and continue on. But I will either read the whole thing out loud, and they will do, some sketching or journaling in this little book. They will have some of those, paints and pastels and stuff, and they can, write about what I'm, reading in the Bible, or they can draw a picture about it, or whatever they want. If they want to write down a prayer, whatever they want, they can do that while I'm reading the Bible. And, or, we might just take turns going around reading a few verses at a time. They really like it when we do that. And then these resources are just to help us, kind of dive deeper into a specific chapter or verse that we read. And then, just play some games here and do the scripture memory every day. That only takes a couple seconds, maybe a minute. And then I checked these out from the library. My library has, I think, the whole set of these. This is Nest Family Entertainment. We've watched these off and on throughout, I guess, ever since I've had kids. These are really well-made, animated cartoons. They have Bible stories, but then they also have another series that is for historical people. So there was like a Helen Keller and a Marie Curie, and, well, different ones, of course, but those are the only two I can think of right now. So, I figured that we kind of like maybe correspond those. And then also my library carries the Superbook animated cartoons for Bibles as well. And there's a Superbook app that's a really good app. And then also there's, some YouTube channels. I think there's a Superbook YouTube channel, and I can't remember. It seems like I know there's more. Is there a torchlighters or something? Anyhow, there's several. Okay, so that is the Bible part. Okay, now over here to help out with the supplement or resources for the history, I got this from a friend. This is a U.S. history cookbook. I don't know if we'll use it or not, but it's there if we want to. Draw and Write Through History. This is Napoleon to Lady Liberty. Again, I don't know if we'll use it or not, but it's here. American History Know the Facts Review Game. And this is actual like flashcards. It's pretty thick paper. Okay? It's a game. And U.S. History Comic Book Maker. My friend gave this to me a few years ago, and it's neat. My kids like it. Let me see. It's a CD you put in your computer and you download it, and this book tells you how to make people. You actually get to make the characters. You get to make what they say, and they'll actually speak it. You get to move things around. It's a really neat program. She said her son did not like it, but my kids like it. However, what I noticed, so she gave it to me, and then I tried registering it, and it didn't give me all access to it. So I called them, and they said that, that's not allowed, that the person that actually buys it brand new from them is the only one that gets unlimited full access to it. So we're limited at what we can do on it, but the girls can do enough that they like it. They don't do it all the time, but when they do it, they like it. And then here's some interactive 3D maps for American history. Again, I don't know if we'll do this stuff. It's just here if we want to. And here's another one, History Pockets for Colonial America, History Pockets for Explorers of North America. Okay. And again, my library has some of these books, or not books, movies. History Kids. Each DVD, focuses on a different place or thing in history. So this particular one is the Supreme Court, and you can see the newest judge, Neil Gorsuch, so this is a fairly new one. He's on it, so that's pretty neat. But they have, I couldn't even tell you, it was like a whole long shelf just full of these about, the president and what he does, and I think there was even one on police officers. It was just a really long, just all kinds of stuff. And then, of course, Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Rush Revere and the Brave Pilgrims. He has 4 or 5 books. This is the first one in the series. I was really excited whenever he first came out with these years ago. I've talked to a couple people that has read them, and they all say that they're boring. I have read the prologue and the first chapter, and I don't think it's boring. I think, so we're going to incorporate these as a read aloud at nighttime when my husband gets home, because he likes it when, we have a evening read aloud and he likes to listen to. Anyhow, so I read the first chapter and the prologue, if that's how you say it, and I liked it just fine. I think it would be interesting enough. And the Story of the World, this last year when we did the Middle Ages on Simply Charlotte Mason, the Story of the World also had the Middle Ages Volume 2, and it correlated very well. So I went ahead and bought the Story of the World Volume 3 to hopefully correlate with this. So that's what this is about. And this is just a little fun facts book about, America and just different things. And I have done a walkthrough, a video on this, Prayers That Changed History. So if you're interested, it just talks about different people and the prayers that they prayed to God, and, how it, God answered their prayers. And if they hadn't prayed that prayer, the world may be different. This is a book I picked up a couple years ago. We've never used it. It's just a reading book, I think, American history. So I don't really know what it's about. I just picked it up, and so I just pulled it from the shelf. We'll see. And this is another one that I had picked up somewhere, Unsolved Mysteries of American History. Again, you know, all these are just resources, supplements, references, things like that, and I don't know if they're worthy or not because we haven't been through them. And this one is an old book, as you can see. It's about the Civil War by Bruce Catton. And then we have David McCullough, the year 1776. My husband, I don't know if he ever finished this or not because we kept interrupting him, he said, when he was trying to read. But, but what he did read of it, he really enjoyed it. He found it very interesting. So we will try to maybe work on that. And this is just a book I picked up just about Missouri because we're from Missouri. So there you go. All right, so that takes care of the supplements for history. And here is our geography. Okay, geography, we're going to be checking out a lot of books from the library. The library we have, not the local one that I complained about in another video, but the one that we have to drive to a good distance. Oh my goodness, they have got so much. Do you know the checkout limit is 300 books? I'm not kidding. I thought they were kidding and I laughed and they told me they were serious. Each person can check out 300 books at one time. That's how many books they have. That's just so awesome. Anyhow, so, and I've been looking through and they have, can't find one. I don't think I rented one. They have a whole, just this long DVD shelf full of DVDs of different countries, different states, different continents. It's incredible. So I'm really excited to use that. And they have so many books about different states and cultures and traditions and countries and everything. It's just amazing. Okay, so I showed these last year, and my children, they mastered these state and capital flashcards, but we will continue to review them just so they don't forget them. I think I've shown these once. These are just some landmark flashcards we've had forever. Then we have a Young Reader's Atlas. Again, we've had this forever. Just resources, people. I have shown this. This is Uncle Josh's Outline Map Collection on CD-ROM. This has bukus of printable maps. It says over 260. They are lined or unlined. You can print them off in sections, you know, certain parts of the world or whole continents. I had to buy this last year for the Simply Charlotte Mason curriculum, and so I'm not getting rid of that. And then this is another book I bought a long time ago, Children Just Like Me. So, you know, each 2-page spread focuses on a child and kind of, you know, like where they live, how they even write their name, what they wear, what kind of toys they have, things like that. All right. Oops. I just dropped something. It is getting hot in here. Okay, and then I have this. This is the Young People's Atlas of the United States. I don't remember where I got this. I don't remember if it was given to me or if I picked it up somewhere. Oh, I know. I bought it from a friend. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's what this is. It's just each 2-page spread focuses on a different state and tells its history, you know, its symbols and stuff, you know, the waterways, the shape of the state and all that. Okay, and these 2 books were my grandma's. So it's I'm sure it's outdated because it's really old, but this is the Reader's Digest, See the USA the Easy Way. So, you know, it also focuses on, it has sections for each state. So, of course, the highway map part is not going to be accurate because I know this is really, really old. But, you know, it still would have some good information. So, anyway, so that's what that is about. And I am trying to hurry, but I am taking so long. I'm already over 30 minutes. Okay, this one, I got rid of the dust jacket because it was all ripped and faded. This is America the Beautiful. It's also by Reader's Digest, and it's an old book as well. But it just, has, for its time anyway, it had nice pictures and information about, what's that? Ooh, that is pretty. Anyway, it has, pictures and information about different parts of America and what makes it beautiful. So, all right, so that takes care of the geography part. So you can see there are a lot of resources that we have and will be using, may or may not be using, I guess, right? All right, moving on to the last two things. Okay, now, I have done a video on Marie's words, so if you're interested in knowing about that, look it up. Like I said, I have a video on it. These are all flashcards, and, so it gives the word a picture, and it just tells you about the word. So I have a video on this, like I said, but I also have a video showing how we used it. Anyway, when we did this, we didn't do it last year. We wanted to, but we just never got around to it. But when we did do this the year before, the girls really enjoyed it. So I have a video where I showed you how we used a notebook with it. So we might do that, we might not. It's just, we need to, but we might and we might not. Okay, the last thing I have to show you here is Spanish. And again, you have seen, let's see, what part have you seen? You have seen these two things. We wanted to finish this book last year, but again, we didn't. I think we only did it once or twice. But we started this book the year before, and my girls really, really enjoyed it. We kind of, hang on. Anyway, I can't show you inside. They have their name and stuff. But anyway, as we learned about, each lesson was really, really short, as you can see. Okay, but as each lesson, we learned something in Spanish, but each thing just built on itself. And online, you can download the authors. They actually have a free audio, where each lesson they tell you the word. Let me see if I can find one here. Oh well, but everything in black, they tell it to you, so you can actually hear the correct pronunciation. And this is a book I picked up a long time ago, Usborne Internet Linked Spanish Dictionary for Beginners. So it was just down there. And here's another one, Spanish, Beginning Spanish for All Ages. We don't have the tape that goes with it, but we have this. And then I picked this up at Staples. It's just a Spanish and English dictionary. Okay, so I don't know if we will do this or the vocabulary, but it's there if we want to do it, and I'm not going to get too stressed. And if we do it, once a week or 2 or 3 times a month, that's fine. It's just, just try to have a good school year. And this looks crazy. Oh, I forgot. Okay. So one thing we're doing different, this video is so long. One thing we are doing different is, I don't know if I ever said it or not, but not last year, but the 2 years prior, I believe, my children had a 1-subject notebook for each subject. And they even had a one for Spanish and one for vocab and one for Bible and memory and writing and all kinds of stuff. So they had quite a few single subject notebooks. Well, we would lose those. We always found them, but they just could never keep up with them. So this year, both of my children are graduating into a 5-subject notebook. So we're going to see how this goes. So we just got this at Staples, and it's a college-ruled, they have these like polyvinyl, dividers in them with pockets on both sides. So that's new. Also, I'm preparing my 5th grader to, you know, be more independent for her schoolwork. So I got this planner from the Dollar Tree. It was only $1. It's really nice. And I do normally make the planners, and she wanted me to make one. Well, not make one because I've already made some. You can go find my video or go on my website and find those. But I am out of colored ink, and I'm not paying that price right now to refill it. So I just grabbed one from the Dollar Tree. Okay, and I showed this last year. Well, last year's planner. This one is for this year, and it's just black and white. So the one last year I printed off in color because I like color and it was pretty, but I'm out of color, so I printed it off in black and white. So this is my planner, and it's basically the same as it is last year. And I do have this available for purchase. I think it's like $1.99 or I don't remember. On curclick.com, Precious Homeschool. So, but anyway, so yep, this is my planner. So I think that covers it. All right, so now we will move on to my 8th graders. Have a good day. If you have any questions, just ask and I will try to answer.